Hello everybody, I'm Chef Austin Cobb from the Strand House. Thank you for joining. It's going to be cool today. We're taking over the CCAP Instagram of Los Angeles. Love my CCAPers, everybody that's involved with the program. You guys are awesome. We're also going to be featuring some really cool products today. We're going to be featuring an Ora King Salmon from New Zealand. It's an awesome product. Kai Gourmet carries that. We're also going to be featuring some beautiful veggies that I picked yesterday with my own bare hands, and that's in Catalina View Gardens. And hope you guys are all safe out there, and thanks for tuning in. So yeah, if you guys are ready, we're going to get with it. We're going to be talking a little bit about theory today, theory of food, not really giving you guys a recipe, but giving you guys a theory on how to put flavors together, proper techniques on cooking, and just an overall theory on nutrition and what you guys are putting in your body, because that's important. And especially times like this when it's imperative to be safe and build a strong immune system, you know, food is really also a medicine as well. So it's really important you think about what you're putting in your body, and what you put in your body is what you're going to get out. So you put in good, nutritious food, you're going to be healthy, strong immune system, lots of energy to do what you got to do. So I want to talk about that today as well. So we're going to start off with this salmon over here. So we have this beautiful Ora King Salmon. Comes from New Zealand. It's about a 12-pound fish. It's already been gilled and gutted. It's ready to go, scaled. It's very important. If you guys purchase a fish at the grocery store, make sure you guys, a whole fish, make sure you guys have it scaled, because it's a pain in the butt if you get home and you find out there's little scales in it. And I want to talk about this product a little bit. I get a commonly asked question at the restaurant: Chef, is this a farm-raised fish? Is it a wild fish? What are your thoughts, etc.? So this is a farm-raised product from New Zealand, and New Zealand, obviously, it's very cold, nutrient-rich water, and these are farm-raised in a natural, sustainable way, which is important because right now there's a high demand for protein and fish throughout the world, and the consumption rate that we're consuming, we got to be really conscious of the wild fish that we consume and just doing our part, because if we overfish the oceans, we're going to be in some trouble. So this is a great product that's farm raised, but it's also done in the highest level, which doesn't affect the environment that it's farm raised in a negative way, because that's what you want to look out for. People say, you know, is it farm raised, and they have a negative connotation with that. It's because it has a negative impact on the environment, but this product does not. And if you guys are curious on how to know if this product is or isn't, or when you're consuming things in your everyday life, there's a great, it's like the fish police. It's called the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and they have this thing called Seafood Watch. And what they do is they certify fish. They certify they give it like a rating. Like red is like a no-go. You don't want red. Yellow's like shmeesh shmeesh. And then the green is good, sustainable, or if it's a farm raised, or if it's a wild product, then it's okay to consume. And this product right here, the Ora King Salmon from New Zealand, has the green, which is almost unheard of for a farm-raised salmon, because they do it in a natural, sustainable way, which doesn't have a negative impact on the environment. So when you guys are consuming your fish, do your homework, check it out. The Seafood Watch, Monterey Bay Aquarium. So that's kind of where it starts, because I don't want to have you guys think that farm-raised fish is all bad. Some of it's really good, okay? And then you're looking at the freshness of the fish. When you buy a fish like this, I know some of you guys are going to be grossed out by a whole fish, but that's just life, and this is how we do it. If you look at the eyes, you can see how clear they are, how fresh they look. This thing just came out of the water. That's what you want to look for. If you see fish and the eyes are cloudy and they look like they're sunken in or something like that, that's no bueno. You don't want that. And then if you smell it, it kind of smells like cucumbers. That's how you know it's banging. Okay, so that's kind of what you want to do. So I'm gonna show you guys how to break down the fish. Also want to talk about knives a little bit. You know, people ask me a lot, Chef, what kind of knives do you use? What kind of knives should I use? And you know, there's no such thing is a bad knife. You know, you don't need to go out there and buy a $200, $300 Japanese ridiculous knife, okay? The important thing, a good knife is a sharp knife, okay? So for all you young cooks and chefs out there, it's imperative to learn how to sharpen your knife. And it's not a steel like this. This does not sharpen your knife. What this does is it hones your knife. So if you look at a knife under a microscope, it kind of has these frayed edges, and what the steel does is it aligns the edge. So it's good for a quick boom, 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 aligns your knife, but it's not a permanent solution. So once your knife gets dull, you're going to end up having a sharp blade. It's going to end up kind of bowing like this, and it's going to be dull, and then you're going to have a spatula in your hand, and you're going to be bummed. So what you should do is get a Japanese whetstone. It's a stone like this, and you soak it in water, and it's important that you sharpen it. That way every day when you make cuts on your vegetables and your fish, it's sharp, it's effortless, and that's what we're going to do there. So that's where we're at. So a good knife is a sharp knife. You can get a cheapy $30, $40 knife, and you're going to be stoked as long as you keep it sharp, okay? So with that being said, I got my knife over here. This has already been sharpened, honed in. And like I said, with the steel, and it's important when you're using the steel, it's a nice tool, but you always want to go away from yourself. You never want to go towards yourself. I've seen that go bad, so safety first, guys out there, okay? And I see people too going, no, that's not what you want to do, okay? You go a couple times, you hone it in, you're good. So it's literally just like a boom, 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 boom. Twice on either side, you're good to go. You don't need to do it 100 times. That's not doing anything for you. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the head off the fish. And this has your Ora King seal of approval, so you know you have your authenticity right there, so you know it's not some knockoff BS product, which is important because, you know, some people fake the funk, and we don't do that here. Not in my kitchen. Not today. Okay, so here we go. So you take your whole fish over here, and what you want to do is you don't want to go straight down. If you can get an angle of that, you don't want to go straight down because there's a lot of meat up in the head right here. As you can see, the contour of the body goes like that. So you want to cut it at an angle. So you want to make an incision right here and follow that line right there, because if you go straight down, you're missing that meat. And for all you young chefs out there, it's really a game of dollars and cents. If you think about saving, you know, let's say you save $3 a day. You save $1 on this, you save $1 on that, $1 on that. That's $1,000 a year, and that all adds up. And in the restaurant, the margins are really small. So if you're not capitalizing and really, you know, not throwing food in the garbage can, but maximizing your production and what you're yielding, that's how you're gonna make money and make ends meet and pay the bills. So once again, you make an incision on the other side, okay? And you go right through the head like that, and you got your head right here. You have some collar meat right there. What you can do is you can throw it in the oven and roast it, which is kind of cool. You know, they do it with hamachi collars, which is kind of classic. But what you want to do is you want to, people say too, oh chef, is that a good, can we make soup with that? Can you throw a salmon head and make a fish stock? Well, typically you don't want to use a fatty fish like that. You know, if you're gonna make a fish stock, you want to use something on the leaner side, like a bass, a halibut, something like that. Something that doesn't have a lot of fat, but salmon is one of the fattiest fishes out there. And oily, so it doesn't make a good stock. Like a tuna as well is fatty, it has a lot of oil, so typically you don't want to use that for stocks, okay? Because people talk about that a lot. So what you want to do now is, and when you're doing incisions with your fish, you want to make sure you're doing long cuts. You don't want to do herky-jerky motions, like you want to do like almost like a sword, like a samurai sword. So that's what you want to do. And if you're looking at the anatomy of a fish, basically it has the spine goes right down the middle, and then either side has a bone. So basically what you want to do is you want to take off one side and then the other side. So that's what you want to do. So your first cut is going to be right on the bottom side, and you want to kind of make an incision right there, see? And then once you make an incision, you can kind of follow it on this side like that, and then you're gonna hit the bone right there, and you're gonna feel it with the tip of your knife, and you can kind of feel it. And it's kind of intimidating for the first time. You're gonna be like, yo, chef, you're gonna be nervous. The first time I did it, I was a little nervous, but the best way to do it is just, practice makes perfect. You have to do that. It's very important. So what you can do is you can go source this out. Kai Gourmet is one of my favorite people to buy fish from, and right now what they're doing is they're selling to retail. So they're selling people at homes. You can go on kaigourmet.com. You can purchase this fish. I mean, this is a giant fish. You're probably not going to buy the whole fish unless you have a family of 10. But you can get it pre-portioned, or you can get smaller fish like bass, and just about all fish have the same anatomy. So once you figure out how to break down one fish, you can break down all fish. Or if you go, another place I like to go to source out my fish is the local Asian markets. Like I found some really good stuff at H Mart the other day, 99 Ranch Market. I found some good stuff at Marukai. So those are like typically the place I like to go. Usually Vaughn's and Rouse, it's not my favorite place to get fish, okay? So what I challenge you guys to do is go somewhere, find some beautiful fish, look for what I talked about. How does it smell? Does it smell like a cucumber or like a dirty sock? Do the eyes look clear? And that's kind of how you're going to tell at the grocery store whether it's fresh or not, okay? Does it look like it's been sitting out, or does it look like it just got put on ice? So I challenge you guys, go out, get a fish, break it down, try it. If you mess it up, just do it for your friends and family, and they'll just appreciate the effort, okay? So anyway, so we have the incision on the bottom. Now we're going to make the incision on top. Once again, you kind of want to make an imaginary line from that spine all the way down, just staying on this side of it. And as you can kind of see, looking at this, you can see that spine right there. You can see the spine and that. So you want to stay right above that. And you kind of want to make a downward angle. So you want to pierce the skin, and then once you pierce the skin, then you can kind of see long cuts, no herky-jerky motions, kind of at a downward angle like that. Nice sharp knife, it's effortless, okay? Now you're in there. Now you can kind of feel it. You kind of hit it. It's like boom. You hit that with the blade of your knife, and that's when you know you're in there. And then you kind of feel it. Boom. One more time. Oh, that turned out nice. Okay, great. And then I like to make another incision on the other side. Whenever you're dealing with fish, you always want to treat it very gently. You never want to throw your fish around because it'll break apart. Fish is very fragile, especially salmon. You're throwing your fish or slapping it around. No bueno, okay? Treat it like a baby, okay? Then on the other side, you do the same thing. You score it, okay? So we'll do the same thing from the other side. All right, make a little score at a downward angle, just like that. Okay, a little score, finding that spine. Okay, and this is kind of the fun part. So we go back to that original side because we have the tail scored. It's all scored. So basically, it's just connected on the spine. So you want to separate it from the spine. And you also want to make sure your fish is dry. So when you get your fish, make sure you pat it down dry so it's not slippery. If it's you have a slippery fish, it can be sliding all over the place. That can be a little dangerous. So you kind of go on top of that. Oh, watch out, turtle. And then you fall on top like that. And then it's kind of like that. And it's kind of tricky, but like I said, practice makes perfect. The first time you do it, you're probably gonna mess it up, and don't get discouraged. And hopefully, if you're a cook or a young chef, and you're in your kitchen, just hope your chef is nice and patient and doesn't freak out on you when you mess it up, because you will mess it up. Okay, so we have our fish, right? We got the fillet all separated, and then we're gonna go for the flip right here, once again, very gently, and then boom, you have your beautiful fillet right there. I did pretty good, you can see the spine right here. I did pretty good. If you get left with a bunch of meat on there, then you're kind of bummed, but I did okay. All right, and then from the other side, you want to take it from the head, and you want an upward angle, So you're connecting with the spine, as you can hear it. Can you hear that at home? Okay, and then that's how you, okay, and then make an incision down. Okay, and then that comes off, and then boom. And you kind of see through that. Can you see through that a little bit? Can you see how many fingers I've been holding up? Okay, that's how you know you did a good job, okay? And then if you did it and you realize you didn't do a good job, then you got room for improvement and you know what to work on, okay? So that's that. Then we got our 2 fillets, okay? Beautiful fillets. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to I'm gonna work with this one. But once again, you treat it like a woman or a baby, okay? Very gentle, okay? And then what you have here, just like all fish, just about, like I said, all fish are just about the same anatomy. There's a couple that are different, like flat fish, like a halibut or a flounder or a turbo, have their own kind of program, or the tuna kind of has its own program too, in the jack family. But the salmon and a bass, so many other fish have the same exact anatomy. So once you learn how to do it, you can butcher your fish. So fish tweezers are great because you have to take the bones out. You can use pliers. These are some really nice swanky fish pliers. They're pretty cheap. You'd be surprised. So that's that. So what you want to do is you want to feel it with your finger. So if you're going over here, you can kind of see them, but they're really small and kind of invisible. A little bit, but you can feel it. It's like brrrr. That's where you know you're at when you're taking your bones out. So what you want to do, and they come at an angle too. So the bones go like this, just because I know from experience. So when you pull them out, you want to pull them out from that same angle. If you pull them out like opposite angle, then you're gonna snap them, and you're gonna think you got it, and then you're gonna eat it, and then your friends are gonna choke on the bones, or a customer, and then they're not gonna be happy. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get in there, grab your bones, and then boom, and you almost want to like let the kind of grab it, and then let gravity do its force. You don't want to do it all crazy. Okay, and then boom, and you feel the next one, and you can kind of get in a rhythm because it's all repetitious. They're all spaced out evenly. Okay, and once again, you want to be very gentle. You don't want to bang your fish up.
So, Chef, while you're doing that, can you tell us about the shirt that you're wearing? We have a couple questions. Someone is asking.
Yeah.
Did we see that shirt on TV?
Classic. And we got my roommate over here filming. So thank you for doing that and doing the Q&A because I got a lot of stuff to do. I can't multitask. So yes, this shirt is super rad. It's my style. I think it's important for everybody to be themselves. Be yourself. Wake up. Something inside you tells you to do something, do it. People will respect it. People might fight it a little bit, and haters gonna hate. So this shirt is super rad. Yeah, as seen on TV. I wore this on Beat Bobby Filet. Check out my episode. It's called Don't Sour Out, and check it out. It's super classic. But my uncle made this T-shirt. Me and my Uncle Barry, super tight. So what he does is, you take your rad dress shirt and ship it out to Uncle Barry in Memphis. He's a super rad dude. And he'll tie-dye it and ship it back to you so you have a nice, like, dressy, super rad shirt, and it's freaking handmade by Uncle B. So it's, true to my vibes, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good question out there, out in TV land, yeah. Okay, so.
What else have you been doing during this downtime, quarantine period?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been trying to stay busy. I'm really terrible at the guitar, but, picking that up a little bit. Making some jewelry. I made this little abalone, take some abalone shells, got a rock tumbler, tumble them, drill a hole, make some jewelry. Been making some earrings, they're super fun. Riding my bicycle, which is cool. They just opened up the beaches the other day, so I'm super fired up. As you can see, I got my surfboards in the background, and they're super rad. And my friend drew that octopus on there, and I did like a Pink Floyd brick in the wall kind of thing, which was fun. And so I got to surf the other day, and just getting out there in the water and having that salt water on you is just really the most therapeutic, best thing to. There's no cell phones. There's no Instagram. There's no texting. It's just you and the nature, the water. There's dolphins. There's seals, and it's my happy place. So you know, and that salt water is so healing too. And you know, like we were talking about earlier, you know, it's important for your health. So you got to take care of yourself, and getting out there and get some salt water, just cleanse your body. Even if you just run in or run out, it's really just a healthy thing. So okay, so next we're gonna take the belly bones out, or the rib cage. So you have belly bones going like this all the way across. So our first cut is gonna be kind of on the top, and you always want to move your fish so it's conducive to you. You never want to do like some crazy like backhand like motion like that. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not. So you want to take the tip of your knife, kind of go up like that. Okay, now you have a little incision. Okay. Now what we want to do, oops, okay. Then what we want to do is kind of make an incision, and like I said, it's those long cuts. That way when you get it, doesn't look all herky-jerky like someone just tore it apart, right? So these long cut, and what I'm doing is I'm finding the bones, and you can feel it with the tip of your knife, and you're just kind of like just staying right on that. Okay, and then you get to that part, the belly, just kind of want to remove yourself from that. Okay, this has got some meat on it too, which you can do for a nice Scooby snack. You can throw that belly in the oven, and you can have a nice Scooby snack there. Okay, well, so that's what chefs eat. You guys want to know what we eat? We eat the stuff you guys don't. We eat the belly, we eat the collar, because I'm trying to make that money, honey, and that's kind of what we eat back there. So, kind of graze all day. There's a little bit of that in there. Okay, now we have a perfectly clean fillet. Looking nice. Okay, this is a pretty wide piece of salmon. So if you cut it this way, if you cut it widthwise, it's going to be really big and thick, and you kind of want like a nice blocky piece of fish and symmetrical as well. So what I'm going to do, and this is kind of how we do it at the restaurant too. So you're thinking, you know, an average person's going to have a portion of about 6 ounces, give or take. You know, 8's kind of on the big side, 7's pretty hefty, 6 is kind of that nice sweet spot. I don't have a scale here, but I've done this 1,000 times, so trust your chef. So what we're gonna do is, once you've done that, once again, you wanna have a nice long cut. You don't want a herky-jerky motion. So we're just kinda gonna do, like that's probably 6 right about there. 1, 2, boom, ready to go. And then this one, so now we got our tail piece, right? That's for like your well done. So when you're in the restaurant, someone wants their well done, super cooked piece of fish, you usually get the tail piece. Mama Cobb, if you're out there, she actually likes that piece because she likes the crispy bits. So we'll save that for Mama D. And then what you want to do is, to get it kind of blocked out, you want to go just right down the middle. You got a nice sharp knife, so it's going to go through like butter. And then you want to get through the skin, like so. Boom. Now we got our 2 pieces right here. Now we want to start portioning our fish.
Chef, someone is asking, what's a Scooby snack?
Yeah, Scooby snack. Good. It's you know, Scooby snack, like Scooby the dog, like, you know, Scooby snacks. Yeah, it's that's what chefs eat. So like just little snackies around the kitchen. Because like I said, we usually eat what you guys don't. So that's your Scooby snack. Okay.
Love it.
Like Zoink Scoob. Okay, so then, boom, right? Nice cuts, like that, and then this is probably another 6 ouncer like that. Okay. And then we'll kind of just one like that, right? So that's kind of how you do it. And then we'll go up to this piece up here, the belly. And the anatomy of the fish, the belly is close to the organs, so it has more fat to keep everything warm, right? It's just kind of how the nature works. So the belly has typically more fat than the top does. It's a little bit more lean here. You can see that. And then the fat is the white part right there, which is just, this fish is super fatty, which, you know, fatty kind of has a bad connotation with it, but it's really just flavor. And, you know, speaking about, you know, theory today, I want to talk about the balance of things in your mouth, right? Like if you have your palate, okay, if you have your tongue, okay, it has different taste buds, right? And it's not all one thing. So it goes from like sweet to sour to, you know, spicy to salty, and it kind of like rolls in your mouth. So if you have a super delicious bite in your mouth, it should be a balanced bite. There's this great show on TV, I think it's on Netflix, it's called Salt, Acid, Fat. And they do a really good job of talking about that. And that's kind of how we talk about food in the restaurant. We don't talk about, that's kind of how we say it. So like a nice balanced bite, a nice balanced dish is going to have fat, it's going to have acid, it's going to have salt, it's going to have all those things which are going to, and a little spicy, sour, all these things are going to bounce around your mouth because you don't want your food to taste monotone, right? Like a monk chant, like you want it to be like a Lady Gaga song. You want it to be like, I lost my keys, were on my phone. You kind of, so that's like you want it to bounce around your mouth and have all these different flavors and such. So today what we're gonna do is this is your fatty component of the dish, right? Whether it's olive oil, butter, this beautiful fatty fish, that's gonna be your fat component, okay? And then what we're gonna do is, then you want an acid component to balance out your dish. Like I got these beautiful Meyer lemons yesterday from the farm, from Catalina View Garden. Got these beautiful Meyer lemons, and that's kind of why it tastes like that. So anyway, we got this butchered. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roast some beets for you guys. So I got these from the farm as well. So what we're gonna do is I have these beautiful beets, which I got a couple different kinds of beets. You also have the beet tops, which are important to save these. You want to cook these down. They're really delicious. Don't throw away your beet tops. They're good. You can eat them raw. You can saute them like spinach, but they're really good. Just wash them, but don't throw those away because that's the importance of food and not wasting. So I have these beautiful red beets right here. They're super easy. What I do is I take these beets, throw them in a container, a little bit of water, cover them with aluminum foil, cook them like 375, depends on how big they are. They're gonna go about 40 minutes to an hour. And they're done when you put a fork in it and they're nice and tender. You don't want to use a sharp knife because they might go in effortlessly and give you a false sense of doneness, okay? So I did a little bit of magic television because we got stuff to do today. But these are the beets, so they're already cooked. A little bit of water, cover them with aluminum foil, bake them off in the oven, and then the skin will peel right off. This will make a beautiful salad. Okay? And then I also want to do some mushrooms today too. So this is my super delicious mushrooms. It doesn't matter really what they are. These are just creminis. These are economical. These are cool and fun. So I want to saute these. I got a little bit of California garlic, which is awesome. I challenge you guys, this beautiful California garlic. And everything I picked in the garden yesterday is all seasonal. We got these beautiful tangerines. Now citrus is usually a winter fruit, but it's the end of winter or beginning of spring, into spring, but they stick around the tree for quite some time, so you'd be surprised. Got Meyer lemons, got these beautiful beets, we got some candy stripe beets, which have these cool striations on them. I got these amazing carrots that are just super sweet. We're gonna make a salad with that, and these breakfast radishes. And so I challenge you guys to either try growing your own stuff. These are so easy, they grow super fast. The flavor is unmatched. If you get things at the grocery store, they're grown in mass quantities and they don't have that love and that flavor. When you go to the farmer's market or you grow them yourself, it just has this like bright flavor that'll blow your mind. And when you have the two side by side, it's night and day. Okay, so we got that ready. We got our salmon. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have this wild arugula. Got that yesterday. Picked it from the farm. Already washed it. This has it's kind of peppery. So part of that flavor component we were talking about, having that Lady Gaga song of all the different flavors, this is going to be one component of that. What we're going to do is we're going to get some of these veggies ready while we're just getting everything else ready. Okay? Because it's all about timing, right? The kitchen's all about timing. You got to have a good timing flow. When you're at home, that's probably your biggest challenge is like an at-home cook and your timing. You're trying to you got Thanksgiving dinner, it's a nightmare. You're like, you got this ready, this is getting cold, that's staying warm. So you want to get everything prepared as much as possible, and then that way, right at the last minute, you're ready to rock and roll. So we have these beautiful carrots. These things are just super sweet. I didn't even peel them. I just washed them really good. You can almost take like a sponge that you obviously haven't used on your dishes yet, and you can just slice them really thin, which are kind of fun. I like my carrots raw because I just really like the snap and the flavor and the sweetness that go with them. So we're gonna do that. Okay, we got these beautiful carrots, nice and sliced. Okay, then I got this these candy striped beets, which are super rad as well. And this one, like Mother Nature, just gave us a little beautiful striation. I don't know why, but it's super cool. And then carrot peelers. I prefer this kind. It's Japanese style, super cheap. You know, it's a super cheap kind of carrot peeler. It's economical, but it just has a better leverage than like your classic kind of like vertical looking one. I just don't prefer those. So then you can take your beet. This one we're gonna do raw, because they're super cool looking. So you can just peel that, because it just gets a little earthy on the outside. It can be a scotch bitter. Okay. And you know, like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of medicine. Food is medicine. Beets, carrots, radishes, they all have healing powers. So you know, that's why it's important to stay healthy right now, and always to feel good, function well. And that's kind of how, you know, veggies are going to be a great way to do it. Not everybody loves them, but they're amazing. Okay, and you see these beets right here? They're called candy striped beets. And when you cook them, they kind of lose that ring. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those raw. But if you get some of these or grow some for your friends, you're going to wow them. They're going to be like, oh my God, it's so cool. How'd you do that? And just like, I don't know, it's just Mother Nature said so. Okay, and then we got these beautiful radishes, these breakfast radishes, which are amazing. They have an amazing flavor, just flavor explosion. Okay, and then what you want to do, proper technique when you guys are cutting, you almost want to do a claw technique like this. You want to tuck your fingers in. Okay, you see that? You don't want to do that. That's how you cut your thumb off. I think we've all done that in the kitchen at one point or another. Tuck that back, have your fingers like this, and then just kind of slice like that. And then once you get in the zone, you don't even need to look. It's a good way to freak your friends out. But don't do that at home. Don't do what chefs do, but it's kind of fun. Like, right? Like, check this out. Check this out. Boom. Okay? That's your technique, all right? Okay, that's it. All right, good. Now we got our veggies ready for our salad. We also got these awesome tangerines. This is another technique that I want you guys doing as young cooks out there or chefs. What you want to do is you want to peel your tangerines. If you're going for like Frenchy, fancy, you cut the top, you cut the bottom, and then you just want to like follow the contour of the tangerine. And I'm using a different knife from my fish to my veggies, because you want your fish knife really, really sharp. So I don't use my fish knife for anything except for fish. I have a separate knife for my veggies. That way when you go to grab your knife for your fish, it's super sharp and ready to go. Okay, so now you have your beautiful tangerine right there. I kind of like to do pinwheels, are kind of fun. And they look super pretty on the plate. You'll wow your friends, I promise. Okay. Boom. Now you got a nice little salad veg kind of thing going on. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, now simultaneously what we're going to do is we're going to get jiggy with our fish right now. Okay, so we got our little guy right here. We're going to use this piece right here. Okay, so you got your fish. Okay, and then we're going to get our pan hot. Now it's important to have a heavy bottom pan. So I have these carbon steel pans. So what they are is like compressed carbon steel, and they get really hot, but they retain the heat. So if you have like a aluminum pan, they get hot, but then the heat dissipates and it doesn't cook evenly. So you know what you can do is you can buy a nice pan, take good care of it, and it'll last a lifetime. You know, and so you're gonna be like, oh chef, that pan's so expensive, like what the heck? But literally, I've had this pan for a decade, and it'll last 3 more decades. I can give it away at some point when I'm over it, which will probably be never. And so you just take care of your stuff, right? Otherwise you buy some cheap piece of equipment and then it's gonna break or deteriorate, and then you gotta buy it again, so you're actually wasting money, okay? So we got our piece of salmon right here. I like to use kosher salt. I like to, this is rad, my mom got this for me, she's cool. And so I like to use kosher salt. I also like to season it myself because you can feel it. You can feel what's going on. I don't like salt shakers. I don't like iodized salt. I like kosher salt, and I like to physically feel it as a tangible thing. That's what chefs do. You can do the Salt Bay thing on the elbow. We're not gonna make a mess. So and when you season, you want to season like kind of high away from your fish. You don't want to season right here. You want to have it up high because you can get an even distribution. You want to flip it Everything tastes better with salt, so you want to do that. You know, people have that idea in their head. They're like, where there's salt, there's pepper, and people just use pepper on everything. No, you know, I love pepper, but you have to have the restraint. You got to know when to do it, when not to do it. So that's important, okay? So in this instance, I'm not going to use pepper because I really want the fish to shine. I don't want to mask the flavor of the fish. Okay, and I'm going to get this other pan hot for some mushrooms. Okay, so now we got both pans.
Someone's asking, they have a cast iron pan at home.
Yes.
Does it work good with salmon?
Yes, cast iron's a great example because it's really thick. It's the same kind of idea. It's a good conductor of heat and it stays hot. So once you get that pan hot, what you want to do is you want to get it ripping hot and then you want to turn it down because nothing sticks to a hot pan, right? If you put your salmon in now in the cold pan, it's probably going to stick and then it's going to be a nightmare and you're going to be bummed. And people ask me all the time, they'll come to the restaurant and they'll be like, "Chef, your skin's so crispy. How did you get the skin crispy? When I cook it at home, it's not crispy." Well, I'm gonna show you guys. So it starts with a heavy duty pan. You can also use this one here is a stainless steel pan. This one's a good choice as well. The stainless steel will work. It doesn't need to be a carbon steel. It doesn't need to be a cast iron. But those are just some of my favorites. Okay. And what we're gonna do is, so this is with all fish. If you're cooking skin on fish, what happens is it's gonna get a little smoky. I'm not gonna turn on my hood because it's gonna get loud. So just be prepared, okay? But when you have fish skin on, they all do the same thing. When you put your fish in the pan, it kind of does this taco thing. It goes whoop like that. And then when it does the taco thing, the middle of your skin is not touching the pan, and that's kind of how you get the wiggly skin that nobody wants. So once you put your fish in the pan and it starts to taco like that, you want to slightly press it and it kind of goes flat like that. And then you turn your heat down, and that's how it gets nice and crispy. Okay. So we have our salmon over here. Our pan's hot. You can tell it's got a nice smoke to it. Okay. And if you're using a cast iron pan or a carbon steel pan, you want to take a little bit of oil and you want to rub it in the pan like that, and it kind of seasons the pan. Okay. All right. Let's get a shot of the salmon. Okay, nice and hot, smoking, you know. So like I said, you want to start high and then turn it down. So you use a little bit of oil. Put a little bit of oil in the pan. This is some oil I got from Mexico, handmade, you know, grandpa's selling on the side of the road. That's like roots right there, okay? Not some BS generic stuff that I don't know where it came from. Okay, so you want to take your oil, kind of move it around the pan. So you kind of coat it, right? And that's going to create your non-stick. Okay, so now it's happy. You don't let it go too long, otherwise the oil's going to burn. So you kind of go like that. Okay, and then once you have your heat high, see the taco? See the taco? Get a shot right there. See how it's tacoing? No bueno. You're going to take your spatula and just kind of press down like that. Gently. And then once you press it down, the meat will relax and it'll stay flat. See? Now it's nice and flat and happy. It's not going to stick because it was nice and hot. So we're going to turn that heat down now, and turn it down to like a medium, and let it go. Let it go, get nice and medium. Simultaneously, get this other pan hot. Okay. I'll put this in the fridge. This is for the neighbors. They're so pumped. Or if you're lucky, you can maybe slide into my DMs, and maybe you can get a piece. I don't know if you're lucky. Okay. And then over here we got our hot pan. We're just gonna go a little bit hotter. This guy's happy. So this is that timing thing, right? Simultaneously, we're gonna multitask. Okay, I got these. We're gonna start. You know, you can get your salad ready. I got these super rad plates I made myself. I'm also a potter, so everything over here, you know, we do it all by hand. Okay, and then we got all our salad garnishes. So we're gonna throw our beets and our radishes in there. And then what I want to do with the, just kind of keep your eye on this. It's kind of a feel. You want to go about 5 minutes per side. And then with our tangerines, we're kind of do like a little presentation. Just kind of fan that out like that. Okay. All right. Salad's ready. And it's all about simplicity. When I'm cooking at home at the restaurant, it's not about that crazy thing. It's really all about kind of what grows together, goes together, what's in season. Choking on a tangerine. I like to keep it simple. So for our salad dressing today, we're just going to use these amazing Meyer lemons. Meyer lemons just have an extra floral kind of flavor to them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little Meyer lemon that beautiful olive oil from Mexico. That's artisan. That's gonna be our dressing for the salad and also for our salmon. Okay. So now this guy's gone about 5 minutes. My chef Spidey sense tells me it's done. You want to get under it like that so he's not sticking, sliding around, super happy. Flip it. Nice crispy skin right there. That's looking happy. Once again, we're going to turn it down nice and low. Okay, now we got our pan hot over here. We're going to use that olive oil again. And this is Saute 101. So saute means to jump. So it's not steaming, it's jumping, okay? So you get a hot pan. Don't overcrowd your pan. See how it all kind of has its own space? There's negative space in there. And you kind of want to use enough oil to where it all... See how it's kind of like bubbling and doing its thing? That's the saute. That's the saute. If you don't see it bubbling and crickling and crackling, you're not sauteing, you're just steaming your mushrooms. And mushrooms are sponges. So if you have your mushrooms steaming in there, you're going to have soggy mushrooms. Nobody wants soggy mushrooms, okay? Just a little bit more fat. So if it's not making that crackling sound, you don't have enough in there, okay? Okay, so you got that nice and happy, not lots of room. If you're cooking for like 4 or 5 people and it's too crowded, it's all stacked up, get another pan. Do 2 pans, trust me, you'll be stoked, okay? We're gonna finish it with a little bit of garlic, California garlic, butter, a little bit of thyme, salt, and white wine. But you want to get them nice and roasty first, okay? Don't rush that. So while these are getting ready, this is how you do it in the restaurant. You want to be all fancy schmancy. Take your salmon, just about done, right? You want to throw in a little butter, okay? You want to throw in some thyme, whole thyme, just like that. You'll impress your friends, and if you're the young cooks out there, this is the proper technique in how you do things. Okay, and you see how I haven't moved my mushrooms? Don't be a pan shaker. Wait till they get nice color. Now they got some color, and now you can kind of do like one of those. Or you can use a spatula if you don't feel comfortable with the shaky, okay? Pretty hot. I'm going to turn that down. Then with these guys, I'm going to finish this with butter too. I use unsalted butter, and why use unsalted butter? So that way you can control your salt. I like to be in charge of my salt. Okay. Now you got your salmon over here. If you could smell this, it's just the thyme and the butter is awesome. Basty. Alright, still chugging on that tangerine. It's okay. Alright, it's happy. And then you just get this rad, herbaceous, kind of buttery. I do this with almost all my fish that I pan sear. And the flavor is just incredible. Okay, so salmon's happy. That's that multitasking. Mushrooms are looking super happy. These are just about done. Then we're gonna throw in some more thyme. And this is really tender, beautiful thyme. So I'm just gonna chop it up. I'm not even gonna take the stems off it. Okay, you're adding your garlic. That smells delicious. I'm gonna take some thyme. I like to rough chop my herbs. If you pulverize your herbs and you just like go over it like crazy, you bruise it. So this is just super rough chop. Okay, and then so you guys probably at home probably aren't going to be all fancy, so you just use your little guy. Oh my god, it smells so good. It smells good. Salmon's looking ready. Mushrooms just about there. The garlic and thyme go right at the last minute because they cook really fast. You don't want to burn your garlic. So just when the mushrooms are done, you're good. Then you do your kosher salt once again. Salt bay it. Okay, happy. Then you want to do a little white wine. The white wine adds that acid we were talking about, the balance, the fatty butter, the rich mushrooms. The white wine has a little bit of acidity. What it also does is it stops the cooking process so your garlic doesn't burn. Just want a little drizzle. Okay. Then you want to cook out the booze in your food. Whenever you put alcohol in your food, you have to reduce it. If you serve it right now, it'll taste like a glass of wine, which you don't want to do. You kind of want to just, it's, the cooking terminology is called al sec, which means dry, so you want to cook that out.
We have a question about adding citrus to fish. Do you ever add it while it's cooking or only after?
You know, personally, I don't really, it depends. You know, I like to kind of like, if I'm going to add citrus, I'll make it in a sauce and kind of do it on top. So if you're gonna do like a Veracruz sauce, which is a classic kind of white wine, lime juice, kind of chili type deal, then at that point, yeah, I would make a pan sauce and then pour it on top. All right. So then we got these beets over here real quick, our last little guy. These have been nice and roasted. They kind of make a mess, but you know what? They're delicious, they're good for you, and they're worth it. You can see a little fork I poked in there, okay? And then that skin just comes right off. What you want to do is you want to take that skin off. Like I said, they're a little messy, but they're totally worth it because think of it as medicine. Think of it as like your daily dose of medicine, okay? So then that skin came right off. This beautiful, tender, sweet, earthy beet. Okay? I'm gonna chop that up. And people are like, I hear a lot of, I don't like beets. Well, were they good beets? Were they that really no bueno canned beets, which are just super gross? Or are they like artisan baby beets that were roasted with love, balanced in a dish that makes sense? So then we got a little salad. I like to, once again, salt kind of makes everything pop, So what we got a little salad there. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of kosher salt again, just a little bit, not a lot. I'm gonna put a little pepper. I like a little bit in my salad, just a little bit. And always have a pepper grinder. Don't use like mesh, shaky stuff. That stuff totally trips me out. If you're my friends or loved ones, you'll know. Like if I'm at your house, I'll like buy you a pepper grinder. Okay. A little bit of Meyer lemon in there. Boom. Little drizzle of olive oil. And like I said, you'd be surprised. Like salad dressing, I'm like, I'd rather just use a little olive oil, lemon juice, and it lets everything on the dish shine, and it's as opposed to having, things muddled or masking the flavors, or, don't get me wrong, a little like blue cheese dressing every once in a while if you're like in the mood for like a wedge, but I like to keep it fresh. Okay, so you got your beautiful greens right here. I'm gonna plate that up, and you always want to plate with purpose. We're gonna put it right next to our tangerines right there. It's nice and dressed. So you want to kind of show off a little bit of these guys. Kind of a little garnish guy. Some goat cheese would be nice with this if you had it. But we're really going to showcase all the veggies in here today because that's kind of what it's all about. Especially when, and I challenge you guys to grow your own veggies and stuff at home, even if it's a little herb box at home or what have you, just a little something. Because what happens is if you nurture something from seed, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, you have to water it, you have to listen to it, you have to sing it songs, at least I do. And then if you go through all that effort, so think about, you're at home, you bought a carrot, okay, or some broccolini you bought in the grocery store. You had no effort. You paid $5, you got your broccolini, you take it home, you burn it, you're like, oh, who cares? You throw it in the garbage can. If you take broccolini and you take it from seed and you nurture it and you water it and you harvest it and you cook it and you burn it or you throw it in the garbage can, it's the most demoralizing feeling you will ever have. So that's why you need to appreciate things and know the effort it went through to get to your plate. And once you know how much effort it takes, then you'll really respect the process, you'll respect the product, you won't burn it, and if you do burn it, you're gonna eat it because you know how much love went into it, okay? And then I always play with purpose, okay? I like to play with a spoon because you're just a little bit more deliberate with what you're doing as opposed to like some tongs or dumping it on the plate, and that's just the way it just looks a little bit more dope. So you got your mushrooms that are super banging over here. And these mushrooms are super easy. I cook them all the time. It's how we prepare them at the restaurant. Doesn't matter what kind of mushroom you have, whether it's a morel or a chanterelle or some cheapies or even some like button mushrooms. It doesn't really matter. They all just use that technique and you'll be like a superstar. And you got your Ora King Salmon, which is just super rad right there. And then I'm gonna serve it with just another little bit more of that Meyer lemon over here. And because you want that lemon on there like that. So it's super simple, super clean, but just wanted to focus today on techniques, flavors, seasonality, and I challenge you guys at home too to know. I mean, it's It's 2020 right now, and it's really easy to fake the funk, right? You go to the grocery store, you can get asparagus year round, you can get all these products year round, and as a young cook, chef, or an at-home person, know what's in season. And if you don't know, look it up, Google it. Be like, hey, it's spring, and spring is banging. Like, all these veggies are just super banging spring veggies right now. It's winter time. You know, those are winter time. Those are root vegetables, because if you think about it, it's snowing, and the vegetables that are below ground are the ones that like do well. And when you eat food that's in season, it's gonna taste better. It's just gonna react better. So it's important to have that restraint. And I lived in Italy and cooked, and there was no faking the funk. There were no giant boxes. There was no off season. It was like growing in the ground. You took it out there. If there was snow on the ground, you figured it out. You make do. So don't fake the funk. Cook seasonally, and check out your seafood watch for your Monterey Aquarium to know what fish to eat. And don't shake the pan. Get colors on your mushrooms, and keep it simple. So once again, thank you everybody. I appreciate it. CCAP, Ora King, Catalina View Guard, everybody that watched. You guys are awesome.
Kai Gourmet.
Kai Gourmet, love you guys. Ora King, peace.